Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm Keegan. Hope you're all doing great. We have a EasyJet flight for you this week. I do want to say right off the rip, thank you for all the support on my last video. I can't remember off the top of my head how many views it's sitting at right now, but overwhelmingly you all have been positive. And I really do appreciate it. I did not expect my first video in 2 years to get, let alone over 100 views, let alone what it's got. So I really do appreciate it. We'll be taking this EasyJet A320, the Fenix A320, up to, or I guess down to Bordeaux from London Luton. So we're gonna go ahead and hop inside, get this thing programmed up, and we'll get up in the air. Alright, so we're here in the cold and dark A320. I'm going to go ahead and set this thing up as quick as I can. Get the power on, get the batteries on. We'll turn on some fuel pumps. Come over here and get the IRSs, or I guess the ADIRs in an Airbus. To nav. Just come down, crew supply on. We'll get the nav and logo light on. Just kind of look around. Kind of follow a 737-ish flow. Arm the emergency exit lights. We'll get the signs on. Come back down this way and everything's looking good. We'll jump over here. Looks like our screens are in test. So we'll jump down here and get this programmed here, the MCDU. Alright, so we got everything plugged in here. You can see our route on the right side over here. One thing I did forget to do is get the IRS aligning. So you probably saw at the end of that time lapse, I got that going. Don't forget that. Make you wait forever to get it done. So we got to sit here and wait for that to get aligned. And then we'll be getting out of here as soon as that's ready to go. Alright, so everything's aligned. We got all the passengers boarded. We can go ahead and get the APU started. We'll go master. Wait just a few seconds here. I always do it too early. And start. Go ahead and flip the beacon light on. And we'll start talking to GSX for a pushback here. We're going to go nose to the left, tail to the right. Alright, and here we go on the pushback. Release the parking brakes. We'll switch the start switch over to start, and we'll flip engine 1 to start. Make sure we have a good start on here. Alright, and we'll get engine 2 started now.
Please set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Looks like we do have a good engine start. Put the start switch back to norm. Go ahead and set our flaps to flaps 1 there. We'll go to our flight controls, make sure everything's looking good, which it is. Go to our doors page, make sure everything's closed.
Unlocking gear.
Set our trim for takeoff, which is going to be 0, down 0. And should have started the clock for the block timer. That's my bad there. But with that, we are ready to
tow truck disconnected.
get out of here.
Bypass pin removed.
Alright, so we're going to be taxiing to runway 07. We'll have to do a little bit of a backtrack because I plan to take off the whole runway. We honestly probably don't need the whole runway, but go ahead and get taxied out to the runway. And so I'm not flying on VATSIM right now because it's so late at night and so early in the morning in the UK. Should have no delay in getting out of here. Alright, we're coming up on the runway here. We'll go ahead and get the strobe lights to auto, wing lights on, turn offs on, put the nose light to take off. Then we'll turn on our landing lights once we get to the end of the runway here. Not a very long backtrack at all, but just in case, since it's only a 7,000 foot runway, you never want to be too safe, you know what I mean? Come down here, try to do a decent turn on to center line if I can. Looks like it's not going to be great. You know, whatever. As long as we get to where we're going, right? Whoa. What the hell is it doing? Started turning the other way and it just kept going. It's like some X-Plane 11 physics there. Alright. Lined up with center. Get the landing lights on and we are good to go. Start the clock. Throttle's 250%. And let's get out of here. There we go. Manflex, SRS, runway nav blue. A little bit of forward pressure on the stick. There's 100 knots. And our V1 and rotate. Got a positive climb, gear coming up. And we are out of here. Kind of a cloudy day here at London Luton. A bit foggy. Looks like we'll be able to climb above this fog pretty quickly. Alright, it's telling us to go to lever climb, so we'll do that. There we go, and we should start accelerating here. I moved it just a little too far, there we go. So we get above our flaps retraction speed, we'll pull up the flaps. Almost there. And there we go, speed check, flaps up. Flaps are coming up. Gonna make a right-hand turn on departure here. This departure is pretty basic. Nothing too crazy, but we do have altitude restrictions, which I'll go ahead and follow. You can see our max altitude plugged in is 5,000 feet, so don't want to break those restrictions at all. So we'll do our best to maintain those. Just hand flying it now. No reason to flip on the autopilot yet. Probably hand fly it through this turn and then turn on the autopilot. A320 is a pretty easy plane to hand fly. Does all the trimming for you. Pretty nice. And Fenix has done a great job with this plane as well. I never used the FS Labs A320 back in the day because there was no way in hell I was paying that much for it. But I've flown all the toeless products, and they're all pretty good. But I think Fenix has done an outstanding job with this A320. There's some good stuff coming down the line too, so by no means have they abandoned the project. Oh, looks like our TCAS is standby. Let me fix that real quick. I had it on auto. Oh, I forgot to turn it to TARA. That's my bad. It is a simulator after all. It isn't the real thing. Not that big of a deal. We'll go ahead and fly it through this turn here. We'll get the autopilot on and clean the plane up a little bit. So there we go. Autopilot's on. Jump up here to the overhead, get the nose lights off, turn off light off, the wing lights, get that off. Jump over here, our spoilers don't need to be armed anymore, so we can disarm those, and we're pretty much good to go. Have a nice little departure out of here. I'll give you guys a couple shots of the some wing views and stuff like that, and I'll catch you guys once we get up to cruise. And we just passed through 10,000. The transition altitude, or transition level, I guess, was 5,000. I forgot those. I walked away for a minute and neglected to reset to standard, but we'll get the landing lights off. And we're pretty much coming up on the end of the departure, right here at Rodney, and then our original flight plan picks up at Charlie Papa Tango here. Or we'll continue on to France. So sit back, relax, and I will catch you guys when we get up to cruise. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. Welcome to our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. As you can see, looking around, it is clear skies out today. A beautiful day for flying. We're making good time on our way to Bordeaux. Should be down on the ground right on time. Once again, I'd like to thank you for flying EasyJet. Sit back, relax, and we'll get you on the ground safely before you know it. Alright everybody, welcome back. We just got up to our cruise altitude, 35,000 feet. Making some pretty good progress here. It's going to be a little bit before we reach top of descent. We'll plug in the approach as we get closer. If we go down here to the flight plan page, right now it is 11:33. It looks like we should make it to Bordeaux at 12:21. So not that long of a flight. I was originally planning on doing a long haul for this second video with the avionics update beta 787, but I just don't have the time to do a long haul this weekend. I'll try to get one done soon enough, because I feel like that's pretty fun. But with that being said, everything's looking nice and good up here. Hit you guys with a little bit of a cruise montage, and I'll catch you guys when we're plugging in the descent and while we're on our way down. So catch you all in a bit. Alright, we are coming up on about 20 miles till top of descent, so let's go ahead and get our approach and everything plugged in here. Jump down here to LFBD is where we're going. We'll go to arrival, find RNAV runway 05, Charlie November Alpha 1 Kilo, grab that. No transition or anything like that. Get that plugged in there, make sure that all plugs in correctly, which it does. Brings us right to the runway, so we'll be good. We'll jump over to perf, hop over here to our approach information, and we'll grab some info out of our EFB here. Winds are 250 at 03, 1014 is the QNH, 50 at 03, 1014. We'll get our temperature, which is 17 degrees centigrade. And our minimums for our approach, 410 feet for the baro altimeter. So all that is plugged in here. Jump back to our cruise page. And just like that, we're coming up on top of descent here. So we'll go ahead and start our way down. Alright, so we're coming up on Vagna here, which is the last waypoint of our arrival, and as you can see, it takes us straight across the airport, wants us to do a 180 to come into land. We're not doing that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and pop onto heading mode. We want to keep managed... Well, I guess it's not going to let us keep managed speed. Okay. That's fine. I'm just increasing up to 3,000 because we don't want to creep too far below that. 2,000 is our intercept, or our minimum altitude for the approach. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is turn us to about 195 here, just to bring us around the airport, and get us at a good angle where we can turn back in and pick up the RNAV here. So we're going to do a nice little turn here. I'm gonna throw out some speed brakes and slow us down a little bit. Going a little fast for being below 10,000 feet. We want to make sure that we're going no faster than 250. But all we're doing here is we're going to come out just to the south of the airport here, come back around, make a loop, and come in and land just like I'm drawing with my mouse here. That way we don't have to pull a 180 at the end of the approach there and do some sketchy, funky stuff. So we'll go ahead and make this wide angle here, and we'll come in, go direct to the first waypoint on the RNAV here, IBDO5, and we'll bring it in and land it from there. Alright, so we made it down to 3,000 feet. Like I said, this first waypoint here on the RNAV approach, I'm just gonna double, triple check here. And I'm glad I did. It looks like we can intercept that at 3,000, so we won't have to descend. But what we will go ahead and do, switch over to manual speed mode, and we'll start slowing down just a bit, down to 210. Not gonna use any speed brakes or anything. We'll just slow down at our leisure. There's no rush here. We'll use auto brakes low for the landing. Go ahead and plug that. With that, we'll go ahead and start making our right-hand turn. I'm gonna program or go to heading select for the first part of this turn just to get us going that direction. We got that turn coming in. We'll go direct to IBD05, insert direct to. So that's in there like so. Let's go ahead and pull our altitude down. We'll go to alt manage mode. We should. So while that's going on, we're gonna go ahead and pull our speed back to 180. We want to keep a decent speed coming in, but we don't want to be going too fast. That won't be able to slow down once we get there. Watching our speed come back, we are below the bold line, so we'll go speed check flaps 2. And flaps 2 is selected. Looks like it's going to be foggy here in Bordeaux as well. At the time I'm flying right now in the US, it's 12:33 a.m., which means it's probably around 6:33 if my time conversion's correctly over here in France, so I guess it makes sense that it would be foggy. Lining up on final now. We'll keep our speed coming back. Let's go 160. Speed check, flaps 3. We'll make sure everything is set up. For the landing here, our signs are on. Gear will be coming down very soon as we intercept our vertical deviation here. Which it looks like we have a intercept there. This next waypoint coming up, and flaps full will come in once we get the gear down. So with it being foggy, I'm going to focus on the instruments here. We'll let the autopilot fly the approach until we have a good view of the runway and we can take over. Now we're on descent. It's grabbing the profile there. Went ahead and pressed the altitude button just to make sure it actually gets it. Now that we're descending, we'll go gear down. Let's go speed check, flaps full, and go to FMS manage speed, which will bring us down to our V approach. And with that as well, we'll go ahead and get the Christmas tree lit up, get all our lights on. And there we go. So what we're looking for now is we're watching our instruments, make sure everything's flying correctly. Then we're also looking for the runway. When we can see the runway, we can take over and land the plane, but might as well let the autopilot do the work until we get a good visual on the runway here. We should be coming up on it not too terribly long. I'm starting to see it there. So I can see the runway now, so we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the autopilot. It's my airplane. I'm just gonna fly the flight director for now, until we get closer to the runway. Got a little bit of a tailwind. Not too bad. Keep it flying down. I'm starting to see the pappies now. We're a little bit low, but I'm feeling confident about where we're at. There we go. Corrected it.
$50, $30, $20, retard.
And we're down. Got reversers green. Put in some reverse thrust. Keep it center line. We're not in any real hurry to slow down because we got to go to the end anyway. I'm just using idle reverse right now. 60 knots will bring the reversers out. And 40 knots will disengage the auto brakes. And we'll keep our speed up a little bit here while we're taxiing to the end of the runway to our next turnoff here. While that's going on, since we're not going very far, we can go ahead and get the APU forming up. I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning up the airplane. That looks like a really thin turnoff, so we're not gonna take that one. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the airplane a little bit. Usually it'd be the FO doing this, but I'm by myself, so I figure I might as well get a head start on it. Get the chrono taken care of, disarm the speed brakes. We're using default scenery here, so that's what's going on with the scenery. It's looking a little buggy. Don't mind that. We'll go ahead and exit off here. I'm going to get the taxi chart up so we can figure out where we're going. Not going to be a very long taxi at all. So figure out where we're going here. If the marshaller's in a real weird spot, we won't go to this one. I'm not seeing a marshaller. To tell you what, that would be on me for not getting a profile for this airport. So what we're gonna do is we'll kind of cheat this a little bit. We'll go to the next gate and, sorry, next stand, and then we'll request GSX here. Just gonna pull in here, turn our landing lights off, APU's avail, we'll get APU bleed on, keep moving. There's the brakes locking for some reason again. Not something I'm a big fan of here in MSFS. Kind of pull up here decently. We'll stop there. The parking brake set, and we'll shut her down. Alright, so here we are at Bordeaux. We got that flight done. Decent timing. I think it went pretty well. But, of course, it always goes well when you're flying an A320. It's such a fun but simple plane to fly. I want to thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, comment below what flight we should do next. I'm open to any suggestions. If it's interesting, if it spikes my interest, I am 100% open to do it. But thank you for watching. If you feel like I earned it, please like, please subscribe, please share this video around with all your fellow AvGeek friends. And Y'all take it easy, stay safe. I will see you all in the next one. We'll see ya.